heard when I first heard it. Was it something, obviously it's different being in front of a microphone and having your voice recorded and actually portraying something, but what helped you along the way to either do the voice in Unleashed and then from there on moving on to an actual TV series?
Well, people maybe don't totally understand this, but Unleashed was an on-camera gig with some voiceover elements. So all those cutscenes, those were shot with motion capture cameras, and the other actors were there with us. And so that was familiar territory. And I'm running around, you know, with like a microphone in my hand pretending it's a lightsaber. Never convinced me to betray my master. And, you know, at that point, the director's like, this is ridiculous. Someone go downstairs and get this guy a lightsaber. We're at Lucasfilm, for God's sakes. We have these things here. We have tons of them. Go get him one. This is embarrassing. But the voiceover elements came about two things. One, there was a lot of stuff that wasn't in those cutscenes. Those, you know, when you're playing the game, the character is saying things. And that, you know, so I was in a voiceover booth and I had to learn how to do that. I wasn't very good at it to begin with. You know, there are moments where if I'm playing Force Unleashed, I'm like, whoa, I didn't really think that through. But it was that. It was the voiceover elements in that game, and then it was also convincing Hayden Blackman to hire me as the Emperor for that. So, I mean, you know, because I was like, are you getting Ian McDermott to do it? And he's like, no. I'm like, well, then probably she'd get me to do it. And he was like, no, I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? I'm like, because I do it good, you know? And then eventually, I remember my buddy David Collins, who was the lead sound designer, and he also played Proxy in The Force Unleashed, which he stole the role. They had some celebrity in mind that I won't tell you who it was, who would have done it, by the way. But just David did it really well, and he did it first. So when we were doing these read-throughs, David was doing Proxy really, really well, until eventually they're like, oh, that's Proxy. It's kind of like Anthony Daniels wasn't supposed to be the voice of C-3PO, but people are like, Richard Dreyfuss are like, I can't do it better than him. This is awesome. So anyway, David says to me, David Collins is saying, look, man, we're going to do a read-through of Force Unleashed. Don't do the Emperor, because let's record it first, and I'll tweak it, and we'll make it sound like more like Ian McDermott. I'm like, okay. So I didn't prepare it at all. So then we're about to go in through the read-through, and Hayden Blackman's like, hey, Sam. Hey, Hayden. Hey, so you think you can do the Emperor, huh? Hayden's like this big football player guy, right? He's the lead of the project. And that's why General Coda, by the way, is the football player of Jedi Masters, right? Football coach. Go out there and get him! Tear that Star Destroyer out of the sky! That's Hayden Blackman right there. So, but Hayden's like, yeah, go ahead, do it. And I'm like, well, but and I'm looking at David like, I would have practiced this, and he told me not to, you know, he told me not to. So then I just launched into the Emperor, and then Hayden said, okay, well, I guess maybe you'll do it. That's it.
Very nice.
So that was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then I ended up doing the Emperor for other projects after that, and, you know, may yet do the Emperor in the future.